Hi, my name is Anna Marie, and I'm a student in the Doctor of Occupational Therapy program at the University of Pittsburgh. Today, Alicia and I are going to give you some tips and tricks for ways that you can best be a healthy family raising healthy children. This video specifically focuses on the changes that older adults may begin to experience while raising a child in their family. We recognize that kinship care, or a family member raising someone in their family, can vary greatly. You may be an aunt or an uncle, grandparent, or other individual who's raising a child. In the rest of this video, we refer to grandparents, but know that this could apply to any adult raising a child. Also, the age of the family member raising a child can vary greatly. This video is specifically addressing the natural physical changes that occur as individuals begin to age. If you're a younger grandparent or family member, you may still notice some differences in your body from when you were raising your children or child, or you may not be experiencing these changes yet. In that case, you can use the information in this video to help you prevent any injuries, and it might give you some ideas for how to adapt if you ever start experiencing some physical changes in your body while taking care of the child. If you're an older adult, you may or may not have experienced these changes yet, so you can use this video to help make sure that you're staying as safe as possible to give the best care to your child. Back pain is a common experience for many adults, and lifting a child or a grandchild can make this even worse. So here's some tips and tricks to help keep your back happy. First of all, you want to make sure to bend at your knees and lift the child using your legs, not your back. You also want to keep your back straight, and this will make sure that you're using your legs and not your back to do the lifting. And then make sure not to lift and twist at the same time. Instead, you want to lift, and then you can move your feet to twist and face in another direction. You also want to make sure to tighten your core muscles to keep your core stabilized. And if you exhale while you lift, this will actually help you to remember to do this. And then you want to lift using your whole hand, not just your fingers. This will help you with number 6 on this tips and tricks as well. If you lift with your whole hand and use these bigger muscles and keep the baby or the child close to you as you lift, that will actually make the child feel lighter and not put as much stress on the muscles in your fingers. So based on all these tricks, first let me show you an improper way to lift a child. This will really cause your back more pain than you would want. So if you noticed, I didn't bend my legs and I was bending my back, and I also lifted the child really far away from me. All of these things are really going to hurt your back. Now I'm going to show you a lift that incorporates all of these tips and tricks to help keep your back safe. So if you noticed, you could see all of those tips and tricks. I exhaled while I lifted, I used my whole hand, not just my fingers, and I kept my back straight, and I used my knees to help me with the lift instead of my back. Sometimes it can be difficult for grandparents to get off of the ground, but it's impossible to resist playing with your grandchild. However, sometimes getting off of the ground can take so much energy that it almost feels like it's not worth it. So here are some tips and tricks for how you can still play with your grandchild without becoming fatigued. And you probably want to try doing a mixture of all these tips and tricks so that your child gets to be in as many different positions for playing as possible, which will help your grandchild to develop their muscles as well. So first of all, playing at the table. You can put your child in a high chair or on a chair that fits them and gets them up to the table height so that they're supported and they're at the same level with you. This way they're at your eye level and they can watch your facial expressions, which they love, and they can engage with you at any age. Secondly, you can just sit on the couch and play together on the couch. This is a position that's comfortable for you, and it's comfortable and supported for your grandchild as well. Finally, you can pull up a chair to their play area. If they're playing on the ground, you can pull over a chair and engage with them from that chair. As long as you're engaging with them, it doesn't matter what position you're in. Oftentimes, getting down to the floor and often getting up from the floor is what people really dread about playing with their children. And so let me show you a good way to help you get onto the ground and get back off the ground so that you're able to play with your kids on the floor. So if you sit down, and then you can put your hands on the chair and use it to help you guide yourself down to the ground. And then you're able to be on the ground with your child, and you can play with toys with them on the ground, and you're safe with them on the ground. And then when you're ready to get back up, you can use the same process but in reverse. So you can use the chair to help lift yourself off of the ground, and then you're back in the chair. So if you just keep a chair close by, this is a great way to stay interacting with your grandchildren on the ground. Another option is just to play with them on the couch with you or at a table. If you're able to sit on the couch with them, then you can read a book to them, and you can play with their toys right there on the couch with you, where it's comfortable for you to sit and it's comfortable for them as well.
So Anna Marie offered some helpful tips to make engaging with your grandchild easier, allowing you to prevent possible pain, injury, or discomfort. Now let's talk about physical activity. So this is any movement that increases energy expenditure, or otherwise any type of movement that's active and gets your heart rate up. And this is not strictly exercise. In fact, you're probably already engaging in physical activities right now. This can include everyday activities and tasks, such as playing catch with your grandchild, doing laundry, tending to a garden, and more. Physical activity has been shown to reduce activity limitations and participation restrictions, so keeping active now will allow you to physically engage in activities with your grandkids with minimal physical limitations for years to come. It's important to find a hobby that involves physical movement that both you and your grandkid can do together. This is not only a great way to spend quality time with one another, but it also allows you to instill positive attitudes towards maintaining a healthy and active lifestyle. Next, let's talk about muscle strength and power. So loss of muscle strength actually occurs and begins in your 40s, and this accelerates around 70 years old. And so loss of muscle power, which is called sarcopenia, is the greatest factor in these changes. Some age-related changes can be due to poor nutrition, so not getting enough protein in your diet, chronic diseases or other illnesses that affect your immune system, and disuse. In fact, disuse is one of the key factors that affects your muscle strength and power. So not using your muscle power will cause you to lose your strength, which can affect your ability to participate in activities with your grandkids and keep up with their energetic selves. So what does this mean? It's very important to engage in physical activities as often as you can, because if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So keeping with physical activity, let's talk about endurance. So endurance affects your ability to engage in everyday activities, so it's important to maintain your endurance capacity. You can use the FIT principle to help you remember how much and how often you should engage in endurance activities. So first, the F stands for frequency. You should engage in endurance activities at least 3 days per week. Next, intensity. So you want these activities to be about a moderate intensity, about a 5 to 6 on a scale of 0 to 10, as far as level of physical exertion goes. So this does not mean you need to be out there sprinting miles upon miles or anything like that. In fact, this can look like similar activities that you may already be engaging in, such as swimming in your pool with your grandkid, going to the park, or playing catch with them. Next, the first T stands for time. So it should be about a minimum of 150 minutes per week, or about 2.5 hours. And so if this seems daunting, you can begin with about 10 minutes of activity and you work your way up to about 30 minutes per day. The last T stands for type. Again, this does not mean you need to engage in any type of activity that is harmful or would cause you injuries. These should be activities that you enjoy and something that gets your heart rate up. So anything such as walking, riding a stationary bike, taking a cycling class, anything that piques your interest, and bonus if you can do it with your grandkids. And so as discussed on the previous slide, when you decrease your use of your muscles, this can lead to increased difficulty and reduced engagement in activities. And so the same holds true with endurance. So it's important to engage in activities that continue to challenge your endurance. And this will allow you to carry out your day, complete all of your expected and desired occupations, as well as taking care of your grandchildren. So we talked about physical activity, muscle strength and power, and endurance. Now let's talk about some ways that you're able to conserve some energy. So it's okay to not complete activities the way you once did. You're probably in a completely different stage of life with your grandkids than you were with your own children, and that's okay. Be sure to not put too much pressure on yourself and make sure to set realistic goals as far as the activities that you would like to engage in. Make sure to schedule activities that require the most exertion during the time of day you have the most energy. So you may feel lethargic at night or after lunch, so plan to get activities done in the morning when you have more energy. You can also learn to adjust the way that you engage in activities. For example, if you usually meal prep while standing in the kitchen, perhaps you can learn to do that while sitting down at the dining room table. You should learn to pace yourself throughout the day and listen to your body. Again, you may be inclined to do what you used to do when your own children were younger, but you are in fact older now, and physical age-related changes are inevitable. This does not mean you can't continue to participate and be just as involved in your grandchildren's lives. It just may require a little more planning. For example, if you plan to take your grandkids to the park in the afternoon, maybe schedule to rest and engage in more passive activities in the morning so you have the energy later in the day. So now let's talk a little bit about nutrition. So a healthy you makes for healthy grandchildren. And it's important to prioritize a nutrient-dense diet in order to give you the energy that you need to keep up with your child, improve your health, and also boost your mood. A few helpful tips are to be realistic. Make sure to prioritize foods that you actually enjoy eating and set yourself up for success. So if you don't enjoy eating lima beans, maybe don't include that. But find a vegetable that you do like. This can also be a great way to bond with your grandkids and teach them healthy habits, as they will likely follow your diet. So it can be a fun way to try new flavors and cook healthy meals together and act as a great bonding experience. Also, it's important to remember that nutrition can be a preventative measure for physical decline, meaning a healthy diet can prevent physical disabilities later in life. Poor nutrition can lead to poor aging, so it is important to be mindful of what you're putting into your body for both you and your growing child. Alright, so we talked about a lot of helpful tips and tricks that you can use in your daily routine to decrease injury and discomfort while still engaging with your child. We also gave you some helpful techniques as well as information on the importance of establishing a physically active lifestyle in order to keep up with your child. Now, although experiencing physical changes as you age is normal, it's important to recognize that these changes should not impact the quality of your caregiving responsibilities. Simple strategies like the ones we explained in this video can have a major impact on your ability to continue establishing meaningful relationships with your child. Whether you're an aunt, uncle, grandparent, or other family member, establishing a special bond with your child is vital, and it's important to maintain physical health in order to stay active and engaged in their life. So we hope that this video was helpful, and if you're interested in learning more about age-related cognitive changes, be sure to check out our other video regarding mental status as a family caregiver. Thanks for watching.